Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting edition of Solve That Problem. I'm your host, Chet Bingley, and today's topic is mental illness. Today we have two very special guests with us who have come up with what they believe to be two miracle cures to the problem of mental illness. So please join me in giving a warm welcome, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, to Sir Lionel Twitt.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You know, I can't help but remark that your name sounds terribly familiar to me.
What, Twit?
Twit, yes.
Oh, I'm not surprised. There are twits everywhere.
Oh.
Yes, back home in England, they find twits in every street corner. The royal family is positively riddled with twits.
Well.
I myself can take a stroll in the park in the afternoon without people stopping and staring and saying, my God, look at that twit.
Oh.
Yes, back here in America, there are many, many twits.
Indeed.
Yes, most of them are in Washington, D.C.
Oh, fascinating.
But I digress. Yes, I'm here to share with you and your lovely audience my twit miracle cure for mental illness.
Oh, and please do share it with us.
I'll be glad to. Actually, I discovered it quite by accident. I was touring in your great state of Wisconsin, just north of here, and as I went about the state hither and yon and yon and hither, I noticed two absolutely remarkable things.
And what was that?
Well, first of all, there didn't seem to be a single mentally ill person in the entire state. No.
Really?
And upon investigation, I learned there are only 5 mentally ill people in the entire state of Wisconsin, and they came from Illinois.
Well, that is remarkable.
Yes. The second remarkable thing I saw in Wisconsin is that Wisconsinites spend all their waking hours eating cheese.
Well, yes, they do.
Yeah, cheese eaters, I believe you call them.
Uh-huh.
Well, being a twit,
Uh-huh.
I put these two remarkable facts together and came up with my twit miracle cure for mental illness.
And what is that?
Cheese. Cheese.
Cheese.
Yes, it stands to twit reason that if eating cheese can prevent mental illness, then ipso facto ergo smergo, cheese can cure mental illness.
Well, I have
Just think of it, old boy. No more mental hospitals. No more psychiatrists, no more medications. When one feels an emotional problem coming on, one goes to one's physician and the doctor just says, cheese.
Well, I suppose that's possible.
Of course, it won't be easy. Won't be easy. My twit crusade to cure mental illness with cheese. No. I expect to be pooh-poohed by the medical establishment.
Well, you might be.
I suppose so. I can just hear it now. They'll say, look at that twit, or what a twitty idea. But when those difficulties arise, I think of my great uncle, Terwilliger Twit.
Terwilliger Twit.
Terwilliger Twit, the pithy twit.
The pithy twit.
What a pithy twit he was. Yes, he had pithy sayings for every occasion. I can almost hear him now saying, my boy, you have to break a lot of cherries to make a cherry jubilee.
It's pithy.
And other pithy sayings like that. Yes. So I shall bang on. I shall persevere against all obstacles, because a twit won't quit. Once our minds are made up, they are set in concrete.
Oh.
No amount of reasoning or argument can change them. It's a sure way to tell a twit.
Ah, well, smash it.
Oh, that puts me in mind of a little twit joke.
Well, I suppose we have just enough time.
Oh, good show. You can tell a twit,
Uh-huh.
but you can't tell him much.
Yeah, it's very pithy.
So, if you ever find yourself, as you Americans say, down in the dumps,
Uh-huh.
you feel a bit peckish, well, just chew a chunk of cheddar,
Uh-huh.
or munch some mozzarella, or gorge on gorgonzola.
Oh.
And you'll be right as rain, old boy.
Remarkable.
Yes. Well, I really must be off.
Yes, I think you must be.
So much to do in so little time. So I'll say ciao to you and cheerio to your lovely audience. Ta-ta, ta-ta.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Lionel Twitt. What a remarkably, delightfully vacant man. I think we might be related. Our next guest is also from across the big water, comes from the great country of Germany. He has an MAD and a TGIF in psychiatry from the University of Vienna. He is perhaps most widely known for his recent bestseller, I'm Not Paranoid, So What Are You Staring At?
Ladies and
gentlemen, Herr Professor Schmatz. Professor, I'd like you to share with our TV and studio audience, if you would.
Oh, yeah. I'm Professor Schmatz. Rhymes with pots. Jawohl. I'm the one that found the miracle cure for mental illness, not that English Doomkopf. No, sir. No, I found it.
Oh, well, would you share that with us?
Of course I would, yeah. Being a scientist, I know that before you find the cure, you gotta find the cause.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's where I made my great discovery. Jawohl. I found it in the zoo.
The zoo?
The zoo, jawohl, the Vienna Zoo. I like to go to the zoo, get away from my patients, you know. I like to look at the animals. It's a happy animal. Over there, look at that little wildebeest. They're so happy there. Over in the corner there's a little orangutan. Look at it, smell. Oh, down there, look down there. Two little armadillos. Oh, look at them hugging and kissing and cute like that. So I'm looking around and said, hey, wait a minute. How come all these animals are so happy and my patients are so unhappy?
Uh-huh.
And then, wunderbar, wow! I had my great inspiration. I found the cause of mental illness.
And what was that?
Clothes.
Clothes?
Clothes, jawohl. Think about it. God in Himmel made us all, us and the animals, made us all naked, right? Jawohl. And the animals are still naked, running around naked and happy. But when we started putting on clothes, that's when we started getting them psychoses and the neuroses and all that other stuff.
Makes sense, yeah.
Jawohl. So the trick is to find the cure now that I got the cause. And being a scientist, I know that once you got the cause, you want to find the cure, you gotta get rid of the cause. You gotta get rid of the clothes. Jawohl, that's it. Everybody run around naked. Universal nudity. That's the miracle cure for mental illness. Jawohl.
Fascinating.
But being a scientist, oh boy, I had to test it out. I took my sickest patient.
Uh-huh.
Boy, did he have problems. Woo! He was an anally compulsive. He was a neuroschizophrenic.
Oh.
He was a manical depressive.
Oh.
He was a psychosomatic, psychopathic, psychedelic, necrophiliac.
Oh.
Boy, was he sick.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh.
wow. So I said, hey, take off all your clothes and run around naked.
And he did?
Jawohl. And in 1 week, that man was as sane as a psychiatrist.
That's sane.
Jawohl. A naked psychiatrist.
Well, yeah, he would be.
It's all going to be in my new book. Coming out next week. It's going to shoot right to the top of the bestseller list. Jawohl, #1. Yoo-hoo. Jawohl.
And what is the title of your new book, Professor?
Let it all hang out.
Why am I not surprised?
Jawohl, of course. Right.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank you for being on our show this afternoon.
You look a little tense.
Well, the camera.
You look a little nervous. You look a little depressed.
Family problems.
Why don't you take off all your clothes, Yabo? Then you're going to be like me, happy, healthy, and naked. Yabo.
Professor,
Boss.
I'm a little confused here.
Huh?
You said that the cause of mental illness was wearing clothes.
Yabo.
And so the cure would be to take off your clothes.
Yabo.
Well, you're wearing clothes.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not wearing any clothes. I'm healthy and happy and naked as a jeopardy.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the time we have this week. I'd like to thank you for
Hey, why don't you
joining-
come with me backstage? I'll take off all your clothes if you like.
maybe I'll loosen my belt.
Come with me,
Thank you. See you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Come.
I've walked along in darkness for many years. My life was lived in clouds of gray, filled with an abundance of fears, just existing from day to day, days filled with loneliness, lost dreams, wondering why my life had to be.
The term mentally ill conjures up in many minds an image of a Dickensian lunatic asylum. Mention the word madness or insanity to the man in the street, and this vision comes to mind.
I can't take it anymore. I've had it. If all those bees and all those trees don't stop buzzing about my toupee, I'm going to set their forest on fire and then they'll all be sorry.
When in reality, the true face of mental illness looks more like this.
Hi, I feel much better since I doubled my lithium.
This is the face of your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your boss.
Hi, my name's Mike. I have schizophrenia.
This is the crazy person you see on TV. These are the crazy people you see on the streets, or at church, or at work. What we hope to do today is to explode some of the myths associated with mental illness. At any point in time, 1 in 5 Americans will suffer from a clearly diagnosable mental disorder. And the main obstacle they must overcome has nothing to do with disordered perceptions, unstable families, or pharmacological side effects. The greatest adversity they face every day is you.
Who?
You, John Q. Public.
I don't know any crazy people. And if I knew any, I'd stay away from them.
Why?
We have children.
So?
Well, crazy people eat children, don't they?
Not as part of their regular diet.
Those people will cut your throat if you look at them cross-eyed.
I believe those are postal employees.
Those people will kill you for your shoes.
Those crimes are gang-related.
Are you trying to tell me our streets are safe?
Not at all. The streets of America have never been more prone to senseless acts of random violence of the most brutal kind.
So, what are you saying?
It's not mentally ill people doing it. The violence you fear is caused by people like you, me, and them.
And my cousin Joe, he steals ladies' underwear.
Thank you, sir. The point being, the mentally ill are no more dangerous than the general population.
The general population will kill you for your shoes.
Ma'am, you must have very nice shoes.
I do. I keep them locked up. Sometimes I sing to them.
I'm very happy for you.
Society has 100 euphemisms for mental illness, many unkind and most dehumanizing. You will rarely see the following seen, for instance, in today's psychiatrist's office.
Well, Mrs. Melnick, we thoroughly reviewed the results of your son's blood chemical screen, his thyroid function test, and his xenon scan. And Dr. Pedersen and I are in complete agreement.
Well, what is it, Doctor? What's wrong with Jimmy?
There's no easy way to say this. Mrs. Melnick, your son is what we in the medical profession call a chowderhead.
I beg your pardon?
He's off his nut. Bonkers. Mad as a March hare.
Could you be more specific?
Certainly. I know this is difficult. This is your son's EEG. It measures the alpha wave activity of his brain. You'll notice all along here that the pattern seems regular and consistent. But do you see this little blip right here?
Yes?
That is where your son goes off the deep end.
Well, I don't understand.
Here is where he goes around the bend, and here he falls completely off his rocker.
Yeah, but they just look like squiggles.
Oh, squiggles to you, Mrs. Melnick, but to the trained eye, bees in the bonnet. Let's look at another test. These figures represent the biochemical ratio in Jimmy's neocortex. They probably just look like a bunch of jumbled, meaningless numbers to you, don't they?
Yes.
Me too. The kid's screwy. I can't make heads or tails out of this.
Well, isn't there anything you can do, Doctor?
Well, medical tradition offers two solutions. One, we could flay all the skin from his body with hot irons.
Ooh, that sounds so expensive.
Or two, we could lock him up in a rubber room and throw away the key.
Are there really no other options, Doctor?
You could try aspirin.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Thank you for getting to the root of Jimmy's problem.
Jimmy, do you understand anything I've been telling your mother here today?
Shoo, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits. Ha hee ha ho ho, quack quack.
To get beyond these stereotypes, we need to define our terms more specifically. What we'd like to do now is introduce you to a few of the more common or well-known mental disorders. Please remember that this is a very general discussion and that your own symptoms may vary. The first type of mental illness we'd like to review is manic depression or bipolar disorder.
I walk in the shadows of the prison of my mind, searching myself with silent eyes till the silence takes its toll. The magic pill sometimes clears my head and helps me to sleep when I go to bed, but the magic doesn't erase the pain and hurt that left scars on my heart.
Manic depression is an affective disorder, meaning it relates to the emotions, characterized by extreme mood swings from euphoria to depression, with some normal moods in between the two extremes. The most common misconceptions about this illness is that the mood swings are instantaneous and that a person can change from minute to minute.
Here are some common symptoms of the manic phase, and please forgive us for the simplicity of these examples. We need to exaggerate to make a point. In the manic phase, a person's mood seems excessively good.
Good? I feel great.
Dad, I wrecked the car.
No problem. It was an old car. We needed a new one anyway.
And I'm gonna drop out of school.
Good, good. I hated school myself. Too much math.
Oh, and Mom left you a note. She ran off with your proctologist.
Well, I love proctology. Great science gets right to the root of the problem. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Mania can also be characterized by hyperactivity.
Ah, it's Saturday at last. Good thing I have an early start. I've got a lot to do today. I think I'll start with 72 holes of golf with Jerry.
Then I'll come home, I'll re-sod the lawn and trim the hedges. Put in a roof on the garage, dig that swimming pool boy's been talking about, and after lunch there'll still be time for etching the history of Bolivia and Scrimshaw.
The patient is easily distracted, irritable, and can go for days without sleep. Obviously, after days, weeks, even months of this, the body as well as the mind is physically drained.
Hey, Dad, look, I got straight A's again and I made the dean's list.
So what? You'll never find a job out there in today's economy. We'll all be on welfare within a week.
But I thought you were just promoted to vice president of your company.
Yeah, the job promotion is the first sign a company's ready to get rid of you. They give you more responsibility, they wait for you to fail, and they give you the boot.
Hey, wow, look at this. We just won $15 million in the lottery.
Oh, great. Lawyers.
Another sign that your depression may require treatment is when it's accompanied by feelings of extreme guilt or hopelessness.
The sun went down again today. What am I doing wrong?
While among the most common, depression is also the most treatable of mental illnesses. The vast majority of people who seek treatment return to full, productive lives.
Flying like an eagle, minus one wing. I never found my destiny in this life of entity. I couldn't measure up to my peers, was a misfit in society throughout the years. The feeling of loneliness and helplessness overwhelmed me. I thought no one cared, no one dared.
We come now to one of the most baffling of all mental illnesses. Schizophrenia is an all-encompassing disorder in that it affects the senses, the emotions, and the thoughts of the person afflicted. The senses of sight, hearing, and touch may become distorted. When you or I walk down the street, we hear many different sounds, but our minds filter out the less important noises so we can concentrate on the conversation we're having. The person with schizophrenia may lose the ability to filter out inconsequential sounds. The person's sight may be similarly affected. This disorder also affects the sense of touch, causing them to feel the presence of a friend's hand on their shoulder long after it has been taken away. The person with schizophrenia also suffers from delusions and hallucinations. Delusions are thoughts that are fragmented, bizarre, and have no basis in reality. The thought, for instance, that people are plotting against them.
Hallucinations are sights or sounds that the patient perceives, but which are not actually there. Auditory hallucinations, voices inside the head, are much more common than visual hallucinations. These can be particularly disturbing because the person can't determine when they're actually being spoken to. For example, take this scene inside an elevator. Boy, you smell bad. Don't you ever bathe?
Jeez, that's horrible. What are you, sleep with livestock?
Excuse me, I believe this is my floor.
That wasn't really his floor. He just had to flee the stench.
Do I smell bad? I really hadn't noticed. Excuse me.
Ninth floor, deodorants, perfumes, and sheep dip.
One aspect of schizophrenia that makes it difficult to diagnose is its age of onset. This disorder generally begins in late adolescence or early adulthood, a time of great physical and emotional change. As any parent can tell you, the adolescent personality is unstable enough as it is. What father doesn't think his 17-year-old son has a thought disorder? But when these formative life changes are coupled with the onset of a severe mental disease, then the effect on the patient, his family, and friends is especially destructive.
At a time when most kids feel their lives are just beginning, hundreds of thousands find their futures dimmed by schizophrenia. It affects over 2 million Americans every year. A popular myth about schizophrenia is that it is the same as MPD, or multiple personality disorder. Once and for all, for the permanent record, schizophrenics do not have MPD. Schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder do not share a single symptom. Once thought to be a relatively rare disorder, doctors now suspect that MPD may occur much more frequently than originally believed. To give us just a quick thumbnail sketch of multiple personality disorder, we've asked Dr. Mary Ellen White to touch on a few key points. Dr. White?
Thank you. Dissociative identity disorder, more commonly known as multiple personality disorder, is a creative, intelligent, defensive response to severe and chronic child abuse. It is seen more frequently in women than in men. The child, in order to survive overwhelming pain, splits the self into fragments. These fragments have independent relationships, skills, talents, and life experiences. Dissociative identity disorder, multiple personality disorder, becomes a problem when the individual continues to use childhood coping mechanisms to deal with adult life experiences. Treatment is focused on reuniting the fragmented parts and the development of more effective coping mechanisms.
Here she is. We found her.
Vicky, here she is.
But they think I'm a real doctor.
They sure did.
But Frank, you've got to get me a better job. The pay for this one's ridiculous.
Friends, what we've depicted here today is just a very brief overview of some of the various types of mental illness. If you've recognized any of the symptoms depicted here today in either yourself or your mother-in-law, we encourage you to do further research or to seek professional assistance at your nearest mental health center.
I don't apologize for being hard to know. I am what I am. Sulking will not change that, but apple pies and warm hands help. And I've never known a cat that couldn't calm me down by walking slowly past my chair. So I'll smile for you in winter if you'll go easy, and fill your room with roses when I can, if you'll stop beating me with words and you never, never turn away.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another brain-numbing episode of the game show Psychoses and Consequences. That's the game show that asks the question, do I have bipolar disorder with schizotypical tendencies? Or am I just plain nuts? I'm your host, Shrink Martindale. And now let's have a lovely psychotic welcome for our lovely Sybil. Right. Now, before we meet today's challengers, let's bring on our current champion. And here she is, Dottie Hornbottom. And how are you, Dottie?
A little depressed, I guess.
Oh, good. And tell us, Dottie, how much money have you won so far this week?
Over $25,000, Shrink.
Oh, boy, that must make you very happy, Dottie.
Oh, no, good fortune always depresses me.
Great. And are you ready to win some more?
Oh, God, I hope not.
Then I'm sure you will. And now today's challenger. Challenger number one comes from Venice Beach, California. And here she is. She works at Buffy's Aromatherapy and Brand Muffin Spa, Candy Butt Sybil.
Like thanks, Dink.
That's Shrink.
Whatever.
And how are you feel today, Candy?
Like God, Shrink.
Oh, great. Delusions of grandeur. Okay. Well, good luck in today's game.
I don't need luck, Shrink. I'm God.
Oh, pardon me. Okay, challenger number two tonight comes all the way from Muncie, Indiana, where she's a housewife and mother of two. And here she is, Norma Stable. And how are you, Norma?
I'm absolutely fine, Shrink.
Oh, that's good. All right. Challenger number three is Miss Bertha Chomp. She's a retired grade school teacher from Rockford, Illinois. And here she is. Welcome, Miss Chomp.
What?
I said, welcome, Miss Chomp.
Well, for goodness sakes, young man, speak up.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, now as you all know, our game begins with simple true-false questions that any normal person should be able to answer. Dottie, we're going to start with you. Dottie? Okay, true or false? Most schizophrenics tend to be savagely violent human powder kegs just waiting to explode.
True. No, false. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Dottie. I'm sorry. Time is up. The answer is false. In reality, only a very small fraction of people with schizophrenia are dangerous. Okay, Candy. Yes, Candy. Okay, true or false? Here we go. As many as 1 out of 5 Americans will suffer at least one episode of major depression in their lifetimes.
Okay.
All right, you got it. Congratulations, Candy. You've won yourself $100. All right. Now, Norma. Although most emotional and mental disorders can be effectively treated or controlled, only 1 in 5 people who have these disorders seek help. True or false?
This is the unfortunate reality, Shrink. True.
That's right, Norma. You've got yourself $100. Okay, Miss Chomp. Miss Chomp, most mentally ill people have done something to deserve their illness. True or false?
Well, that's a silly question. If they'd taken care of themselves in the first place, they wouldn't be sick. They should just snap out of it.
Ooh, I'm sorry, Miss Chomp. No, mental illness is not a punishment for being bad. Many factors are involved. Hereditary predisposition, or extreme physical or mental abuse may lead to mental illness, but no one deserves to be mentally ill.
Poppycock.
Oh, Miss Chomp. Okay, there we go. Round 2, Dottie.
What?
Okay, as you know, Dottie, in our final round, you select the category. And our categories today are 1, symptoms, 2, illness in history. 3, today's mystery category. And 4, money madness.
I guess I'll take symptoms for 100.
Okay, Daddy, here we go. The following symptoms are indicative of what mental illness? Excessively energetic, cheerful, expansive behavior, rapid speech, flamboyant dress, poor appetite, changes in sleep pattern, feelings of guilt or worthlessness, and suicidal ideas. Dottie, your answer, please.
Would it be obsessive compulsive disorder?
Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy. Oh, no, the correct answer would be bipolar disorder or manic depression. Okay, Candy. Candy.
Hi, Shrink.
Hi, Candy.
Oh, I'll take like that mystery thing for 200, Shrink.
Okay, Candy. Today's mystery category is multiple personality disorder. Oh, listen to that. It's our daily double. That means you can win twice as much, of course. And here we go. Multiple personality disorder is often confused by the general public with A, the common cold, B, schizophrenia, or C, Congress.
Oh, wow, I guess it would be...
B is right, Candy. It's schizophrenia. That's the answer. And you won yourself $200. Okay. And now, Norma, pick a category, please.
Thank you. I would like category 4, money madness, for $200, please.
Oh, ready? The question is, annually, the money spent on research for multiple sclerosis is $161 per patient. And for every cancer patient, $300. For muscular dystrophy, over $1,000. How much money is spent annually per patient on schizophrenia?
Actually, Shrink, no disease in the Western world is as under-researched as schizophrenia. The answer is only $14 per patient is spent annually.
That's right, Norma. Okay, you won yourself another $200. Okay, Miss Chomp. Miss Chomp, pick a category, please.
I will take the history of mental illness for $200.
Alrighty, let's see. Which of the following famous people suffered from some mental disease? A, Abraham Lincoln. B, Winston Churchill. C, Vincent van Gogh. Or D, Michelangelo.
Well, that's a silly question. They were all productive members of society, so obviously none of them were mentally ill.
Oh, sorry, Miss Chomp. Oh. No, all of them, at some time in their lives, dealt with some form of mental illness.
That was a trick question that wasn't fair.
Life's not fair, Miss Chomp. Okay, players, it's time to tally up the scores. And Dottie and Miss Chomp, you're tied for second place with no money. Whoa. Candy and Norman, you're in a tie for first place with $300 each, and that means that you, our studio audience, have chosen tonight's new champion. All right, lovely. Sybil, if I may have the envelope. Thank you so much. Let's see who the new winner is. Oh, Norma, although all your answers were correct, the audience hates your hair. So that means that you, Candy Butt Sample, are our new champion. And that's all the time we have for tonight, folks. So this is Shrink Martindale, hoping that all your psychoses are happy ones. Goodbye for now. See you later.